أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We welcome you honorably to this new episode which will talk about reasons behind the units or the rakats of the 5 daily prayers. Before we begin, we congratulate our Muslim brothers and sisters across the globe about the completion of 1444 Ramadan, and with the wish of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are in the Eid al-Fitr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our ibadat. Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our scholars, our parents, and all Muslims from the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam up to the day of Qiyamah. So this episode is titled 17 Reasons Why the 17 Rakats or units of the 5 daily prayers are recited differently. In this episode, we want to start talking about the hikam, the wisdoms behind some of the ibadats that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed us to do. Even though, according to scholars, it is not compulsory upon every Muslim to realize the hikam or the wisdoms behind any ibadah, especially if it is ibadah. But in terms of ma'amala, things that have to do with worldly things or concern with worldly matters, then the realization of wisdom behind those actions are very important. But in this episode, we want to mention some of the reasons why these 17 rakats of these 5 daily prayers are recited differently, why they are not recited equally. It is important for every Muslim to realize wisdoms behind some of the matters which Islam has decreed and are contained in the Quran and in the authentic ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam according to the interpretations of the scholars. A renowned scholar by name Sa'd ibn Salih as-Suhaimi mentioned that for everything Islam asks us to do, there's a wisdom. Any person who realized that wisdom should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you fail to realize the wisdom because of your incapacitation, that does not mean that such an action lacks the wisdom behind it. Now you can see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to pray 5 times daily. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained to us in details in the ahadith which are authentic. And if you look at the sunnah and the practice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, these raka'at of the 5 daily prayers are not recited equally. The recitation of the Prophet in Salatul Subhi is different from the recitation he used to do in Salatul Zuhr. That of Zuhr is also different from that of Asr. That of Asr is also different from that of Maghrib, and that of Maghrib is also different from that of Al-Isha. Completely, these recitations in these 5 daily prayers are completely different from recitations which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do in the night prayers. So there is wisdom behind it. Let's start from Salatul Subhi. You can see that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as reported by the companions, that he used to recite up to 100 verses, sometimes up to 60 verses in Salatul Subhi, in the first rakah of Salatul Subhi. In the second rakah, less than that. then what is the reason, or what is the wisdom behind the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prolonging Salat Suhi more than any other salat that is compulsory? Because the human body, or the body of the creatures who will pray or perform this salat by then, are still fresh. They are just waking up from the sleeping. So the body is still fresh. The weather is calm. Majority are not going to work immediately after Salatul Subhi by then. Majority are not going to work because they are just waking up from their sleep. There is much concentration from the part of the praying people because their brain is fresh, their body is fresh, the weather is calm, nothing is immediately after the Salatul Suhi, as in the case of Salatul Zuhr, Asr, or probably Maghrib. That is why you can see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would prolong the recitation in Salatul Suhi. But in the last 10 days of Ramadan, for example, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, all his family, will perform Salatul Nawafil, Qiyam al-Layl or Qiyam al-Ramadan in the night. When it is time for Salatul Subhi, there is no need for prolonging because majority of them have become tired already because of the salats they performed in the night. Now you can see the difference between them, and now you can realize the wisdom. Number 2, which is Salatul Zuhr. You can see that in the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Salatul Zuhr is recited moderately because the weather is begin to become harsh, or even if it is in the dry season, the weather is already harshed by then. Another reason again is that many people are at work by then. Many people, majority are at work, are still at work, either in their farms, in their companies, in their factories, in their offices, in their this, in their that. They are still at work. So they need to do some things sharp in order to go back to their work. And that is why the recitation of Salatul Zuhr is moderate. It's not like that of Salatul Suhi, and you can see the difference between the two. But when you come to Salatul Asr, which is the third Salat, you can see Salatul Asr is also shorter than Salatul Zuhr because people have begun to tired. They have worked too much already. Some are about to close from their works. Some have even closed. And that is why you can see in Islam there is no any nafila prayers after Salatul Asr. Because many have tired. Many, even those who have not tired, and they are still at work, cannot work as they used to do in the early morning, like in the 8, 9, 10, 11 or 12 in the morning. So you can see that is why Salatul Asr is shorter than even Salatul Zuhr. But when you go to Salatul Maghrib is shorter than Salatul Asr still, because people have become tired, completely exhausted. Some have just returned home. Some are still on their way returning home. You can see that those who have returned home, or those who are on their way returning home, they need not to be bothered a lot. And because they have tired, they have become exhausted in their work already. And that is why Salatul Asr, Salatul Maghrib is very short. Islam doesn't want you to prolong Salatul Maghrib, because prolonging it will make a lot of people suffer. And that is why you can see that those who have arrived home early, because maybe 50% have arrived home and another 50% are still at work. That is why there's nafila prayers after Salatul Maghrib, which is just 2 rak'ah. For those who have arrived and they have taken shower, they are in the masjid, they can, after Salatul Maghrib, they can set 2 nafila prayers and then sit down waiting for Salatul Isha, or return home and then come back to the masjid and for Salatul Isha. But when you go to Salatul Isha, you can see that Salatul Isha is longer than Salatul Maghrib because majority have arrived home. Those who are still at work or those who are still on their way coming back home are not much. That is why Salatul Isha is longer than Salatul Maghrib, because many, even those who have arrived home, have relaxed already. They have taken shower, and some have even eaten their dinner for those who eat it early. And the weather is becoming calming. You can see that the calmness in the weather as Salatul Isha is better than that of Salatul Maghrib, that of Asr, and that of Zuru, especially during the dry seasons. You can see because of this calmness in the weather, many people will concentrate much. Many people will concentrate much, and that is why the recitation in it is a bit longer. You can also see that there are more nafila prayers after Salatul Isha. There are more nafila prayers after Salatul Isha. More nafila prayers after Salatul Isha, because the weather is becoming calming. As the night is coming, the weather is calming until it's become calmer. That is why you can see Islam recommends that Muslims can stand up after Salatul Isha and then perform a lot of nawafil. If those who cannot stand up because of they have become tired, they didn't arrive home early, they can sleep in the first part of the night and then wake up in the last part of the night and then say their salah, their nafila prayers, or even in the middle of the night and then say their nawafil. So here you can see the some of the reasons why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not make the recitations of 5 daily prayers equal, because of the difference in the weather, difference in the workplaces, difference of the people, and you can see many reasons that I have not even mentioned here. I pray may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all this as part of our ibadat, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us abundantly. So this is the end of the episode, which is titled The 17 Reasons Why the 17 Rakats of the 5 Daily Prayers